You cannot live in the Lowcountry and not ascribe to the salt life tenet. Our worlds intersect the oceans and waterways, whether we realize it or not, and it's those convergences that can unfortunately throw off the ecological balance. That's where our guest comes in. We'd like to welcome Lauren Rust, Executive Director for the Lowcountry Marine Mammal Network. It's good to have you with us, and it sounds like your duties are now expanding, so tell us more about this.
Yeah, so we recently just took over becoming the South Carolina Marine Mammal Stranding Permit holder. Basically gives our organization authorization to respond to sick, injured, or deceased marine mammals, so dolphins or whales, across South Carolina.
And you have a most recent example of that just today, and maybe you could share with our audience what happened.
Yeah, so today we got a call about a dolphin we've been monitoring for a few weeks, unfortunately it passed away, and so our team members are responding to it right now.
So what happened?
So this was a dolphin that had made its way into fresh water. That we've been monitoring and sort of hoping he'd make his way back into salt water where he lives, and he did not, and unfortunately passed away.
And this dolphin traveled all the way from the ocean up our waterways and into Goose Creek of all places?
Yes, so he made it up to, this is an animal, these animals live in the rivers and the estuaries. And
that's
often,
brackish water.
Yes.
So they can survive in brackish water?
Exactly. He just, they went a little bit too far. And sort of, we're hanging out there and we've been monitoring them, and unfortunately they passed away.
And that's essentially where you come in, is you try to get these animals, do you try to right their path of animals that have gone astray, but what are the typical animals that you tend to rehabilitate, you rescue?
So we are mostly responding to bottlenose dolphins or whales, small or large whales across South Carolina.
And it takes a village. So you're tasked now with even more responsibility, but you do work with other agencies. Who are some of the other agencies that you work with? Exactly.
So our main partner that makes up the South Carolina Marine Mammal Stranding Network is National Ocean Service, and they have a branch here on James Island. But we also have first responders and partners throughout the coastal state. So this could be volunteers, volunteer veterinarians, as well as other partners, law enforcement, that can help us respond when it may take us several hours to get up somewhere.
Yeah, and about how many animals per year would you say that you're focused on helping?
So typically between 50 and 70 animals, that's statewide. But most of the response we see is locally here around Charleston.
What are the typical threats to these animals? Not just the ones that go astray, but what are some of the other impacts?
So we see a variety of things, such as disease, definitely human impacts, so things like microplastics, entanglements, and boat strikes. And then other things like old age.
And what can we do, though, to help your work, to make the work, I guess, a little bit less intense for you? What are the things that we, as people who enjoy going to the beach, who enjoy our waterways and boating and things like that, do?
So, some really simple things, just, keeping your eyes on marine mammals when you're on a boat, giving them lots of space so you don't maybe injure them, things like that. Obviously picking up, your plastic and trying to, not use those things that when you're out on the boat so they don't fly into the water. And then if you do come across a distressed animal, we use the South Carolina Wildlife Hotline, so always report that immediately or as quickly as you can so our team can respond, as well as get photos and a location so we can respond as quickly as possible.
And as much as we'd like to be one with the animals, it's not advised to make them our friends. It's not advised to feed them or encourage them to come close to humans. So
exactly.
Know to keep your distance as well.
Keep your distance, and if you do come across an animal on the beach, we also encourage people not to push them back into the water. Let our team come out and assess them and do what's best.
Excellent advice, Lauren. Thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We're back after this.